Everybody, welcome back to some more Dead Space 3. My name is Mike, also known as S13, and we're picking right back up after that cutscene. Just to let you know, I did have some recording issues and I lost some footage, but I was able to recover it in time.
Danik, you have to stop.
Isaac, is that you? You are unbelievably hard to kill. Are you aware of that?
Danik, do you know about the moon? Do you know what it is?
Part of the miraculous ecosystem, I assume.
It's alive, Danik. It's hungry and it isn't alone. If you turn off the machine, you'll set it free. And then it and all its brothers find our markers, find us, and wipe us out.
How can you presume to know its intentions? You fear it because you don't understand it.
Danik, hear me out! Danik, are you listening to me? Motherfucker!
Long story short, I went to replay like 5 minutes in order to get back to where I was. But I wanted to express, I like that Danik has some admiration for Isaac there and the way he's speaking. Like, oh man, like, you're remarkably hard to kill, you know that? Like, if humanity was supposed to survive, like, you might actually be a worthy addition. I also like how Danik presumes to understand the marker. Like, he chides Isaac for not knowing anything about it, or for presuming its intention without knowing anything. And it's like Isaac has the most experience with the markers than anybody. Here's our new locking device. Oh. And by locking device, I meant, hey, it's a bomb. I hear a... Sorry, I heard microtransactions happening. Somewhere in the world, EA cries a little bit when you don't pay any money. They can feel it. So this is Chapter 17. We got our first look at our alien city here. It looks gorgeous, by the way. Thank you. I want to pick their body and make it so you'll never converge. I'm going to destroy all your body parts. Though I assume that once convergence actually starts happening, it means that like all flesh on the planet just starts rocketing towards the moon, infected or not. Alright, here we go. We got an artifact. Let's see what it says. Daily Reflections by Jacob Danik. Like any good spiritual journey, this trip has constantly questioned my beliefs and tested my resolve. But by careful observation of the facts, I now believe I know what truly has transpired on this planet, and why our race has failed to achieve convergence. The natives of Tavolantis, like ourselves, tampered with the markers and broke from nature's plan. Judging from the relative completeness of the moon in orbit, they were so close to achieving that final, lasting glory. Now we are faced with their test. Will we too fall short of eternal glory because we stop mere inches from the final stage? Will we also succumb to fear and fail to take the last step? Faith takes courage, my friends. Today, let us be the ones to set aside fear and accept the future promised by the markers. So yeah, he's sort of like in Doctor Strange, the movie, Mad Mikkelsen's character who wants to join with Dormammu is like, dude, it's totally cool to be stuck in permanent timelessness and that horrible situation. It's totally awesome and it's not bad at all. Is that Carver? That's Carver.
Isaac! He's getting away! Hang on! I got a plan!
I almost shot at Carver because I thought he looked like an enemy. It's like, I'm an engineer, trust me. This is what we do. We blow stuff up. Even in today's world climate, it's... Oh! Hey! Hey, Danik. so somehow we got separated from Carver. Over here.
Where? Oh, hell. I'll meet you at the machine.
And so now we are in essentially the hell of this planet. I mean, look at all these corpses of aliens. Look at the size of their heads. It's like, holy crap, these creatures were humongous. I really like their design. Sorry, I stuttered there like a Porky Pig. I really love their designs. Ooh. Haven't had a chance to get a good look at those the baby monsters from Dead Space 2 to see if they actually are baby monsters. So let's get a good look if we can. It's still hard to get a look because I think I blew it up with a rocket. But these things are freaking humongous. We're in like a marker graveyard. They got obsessed. They too became obsessed with markers and built them everywhere.
The deep dig tubes were some of our brightest archaeologists and soldiers. What happened to them down here served as a cautionary tale to us all. What drove them to such extreme behavior, to such depravity and violence? I have sequestered their bodies in the staging compound. There I hope to find answers, not only to their demise, but to the workings of the artifact they discovered in the depths.
Yeah, so we have a new side mission. I think this is the last side mission. So we're going to do that. I may switch out the suit. This one's not too bad. It's still fairly plain. Do some squats in the elevator while we're waiting. Keep our core strong. I'm sure we have some scavenger bot coming back to us at some point. You're looking good. Our suit's maxed out, so there's no reason to go into the suit kiosk unless you want to change. Uh-oh. That's not good. Those are, if you remember from very early on, these are the type that regenerate infinitely.
He was shivering, naked when I found him. The self-inflicted wounds carved deep into his skin, the meaning of which I can only speculate. I had to work to pry the artifact from his cold, white hand. A curious object made of an unknown material, activated, it seems, by sound. The markings are words, that I'm sure of, but without a means of translating them, I'm afraid its purpose will remain a mystery. If only there were more time, I could find other examples of the script stored here and unlock it.
So it's an artifact that creates sound. Wait, look at the size of this thing's head. This creature is enormous. Text log. Let's get to where I can actually read it. Okay, there we go. Personal log, Dr. Earl Serrano. The deep dig surveyors refuse to speak whether this is willing or the result of the trauma they observed is uncertain. Sorry, I read that sentence really weird, but they continue to draw strange symbols on any surface they can find, and when no other surface is available, they use their own skin. After persistent inquiries as to what they were doing, one of them finally turned to me and spoke. "We witnessed the truth," he said, "and so will you." This last bit he screamed as he came at me with a utility knife. Thankfully, I managed to scramble away. It took several soldiers to subdue him before he could be taken to a more secure holding area. So that sounds like what happened to people on Aegis 7 when they first discovered the marker. You know, plagued by headaches, like scrawling crazy stuff on the walls. Somehow there is zero gravity here. Oh. Wow. That was a failure of, that was operator error. I mixed up which button I should have been pressing there. Oh, there's a big boy down there. Luckily, I have a rocket launcher. Oh. Like, what is this thing? Oh. Please get out of the way, thank you. Is it dead? Okay, it must be dead. It's hard to tell. I thought you had to destroy all of its limbs. So what else we got? Hey, personal log, Dr. El Serrano. When I first saw the city, I was amazed at the statuary. They're everywhere. You look, clustered together, integrated into the architecture. It wasn't until I studied them more closely that I understood. They're not statues at all, but the remains of this once great species. Willing or not, they have become an integral part of a machine of staggering complexity. They've literally paid for the construction with their very lives. Yeah, so I forgot to point it out earlier, but when we first saw the machine glowing green when we entered the city, you could see that there were the alien corpses attached to it, like they were climbing it. And it makes you wonder, were those Necromorph creature? Oh, scavenger bot's back. Don't really care. Trying to orient myself properly. Okay, this is why there's zero gravity. Because of these things. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense in a spacey kind of way, right? Oh, gotta get our stasis coating. Ooh, that might actually be really good to throw into our weapons. Imagine this machine gun having a stasis effect every time I fire it. Whoa. Look at this thing. It's freaking huge and creepy. I love creepy designs where it's something like your brain is programmed. Like when you see something that looks sort of humanish but isn't human, your brain, like, it makes like your body like convulse and shiver. Like, it's like, oh my god, what is happening? That's what I love about certain monster designs. Because you could say, Mike, what are you talking about? That doesn't look human at all. But it's bipedal. It has 2 legs, 2 arms, is what I mean. Oh, hello. It, sort of, if you were far away and it was walking on those 2 legs, you would be like, oh, it's a human. But then as you got closer, you'd be like, oh, that's not a human, it's freaking me out. And I love that kind of monster design. Okay, personal log, Dr. Serrano. Some of the artifacts we brought up for examination were covered in what I can only describe as fossilized carbuncles. This is Final Fantasy? We thought they were inert, having been dead for potentially millions of years. But while they were in anti-grav transit, some of the growths broke off when the crews went back to retrieve them. But when the crews went back to retrieve them, they discovered several large pods affixed to the walls, presumably incubating something within. When approached, they cracked open and what spilled out was horrifying. We lost several of our crew that day. The creatures have since been shut up in the transit shaft until we can examine them. The other shaft has been fitted with tripwire devices to deter any others that may have escaped our notice. So he's talking about those things that we first saw when we entered here. I do want to see if there's anything hidden down by the anti-grav lifts. There we go. I do love the lore that they, like, when you can actually find it in this game.